NBA playoffs. They're here. They're rolling. If you're not watching the NBA playoffs or you don't care about the NBA, then this episode is not for you. I would just go to your next podcast episode you're listening to, turn this one off, because I'm going to talk about the playoffs. What do we think? There's 4 series going on right now, right? Boston, Cleveland. Boston's up 3-1. Knicks, Pacers 2-2. Thunder and Mavericks 2-2. Timberwolves, Nuggets 2-2. It's a deadlock, gridlock, whatever you want to call it, traffic jam right there. 3 of the 4 series are tied 2-2. Boston is up 3-1. I think Boston wins it 4-1. The other series can go any way if you've been watching. I mean, last night, the Mavericks, I honestly don't know how the Mavericks lost to the Thunder last night. And the Thunder is my team. If you know me, I love the Thunder. That's who I'm rooting for. That's my team. Being from Oklahoma City, those are my guys. And I honestly, when I was watching that game, I felt like we were down 30 the whole game. And even when we were up at the end, I felt like we were losing and going to lose. I don't know. It was just one of those games. I mean, SGA, he carried the team last night. There was no chance we would have won that game without SGA hitting some of those big shots that he hit, because some of the other guys, they didn't show up offensively. They showed up in other ways. And so it just was a game that SGA had no other choice but to carry the Thunder last night to beat the Mavs. And they did it. I don't know how. I was texting one of my buddies who he lives in Houston, outside of Houston, but he was at a retreat and was asking me for updates. I don't think he actually believed me when I texted him and told him that we were up 5 with like 2 minutes left or whatever that was. What a game. What a series. Both teams won a game on the road and both teams won a game at home. The next game is in Oklahoma City. And if Oklahoma City plays like they did last night, those other guys, besides SGA, offensively, I don't see how we can beat the Mavericks. I mean, it definitely helps, too, that our defense last night held, Doncic to under 20 and Kyrie to under 10. So PJ Washington has been crushing us all series. And so if we can't stop PJ Washington, at least I guess we're stopping the other 2 guys who average a combined like 60 points a game, and they're just not scoring. Our defense has really, really stepped up. And it's really impressive with how young these guys are, this Thunder team. It's really impressive to see them step up defensively, and especially last night coming from behind like they did to win that game. That was just a gutsy performance. It's probably one of the best Thunder wins I've seen in over a decade. Just the overall game. So, man, what a game. Tonight we've got 2 really good games. Pacers at Knicks and Minnesota at Denver. So I think Denver wins it tonight to go up 3-2, which that series is also crazy. Denver lost their first 2 games at home, and then they go to Minnesota and win on the road 2 times in a row. This playoffs are hard. I mean, the home team usually has the advantage, but it's been a little odd, especially in the West. I've paid a lot more attention to the West because I think it's a better conference for one, and I don't really like any of the teams from the East. So that's that. But man, it's been a fun NBA. And you don't have Steph Curry, you don't have LeBron James, you don't have some of these guys who have been in the playoffs for many, many years. You don't have Jimmy Butler. You've got guys that aren't there and teams that aren't there. They may have been early in the playoffs, but now that we're in the second round, these veterans just did not make it to the second round. And I think I said this before on an Instagram post. I think it was an Instagram post that I think this season was definitely the changing of the guard, saying goodbye to LeBron and Steph and, Chris Paul and those guys. who else? I know I'm leaving out some people and some big names. But for sure, LeBron and Steph and the whole Warriors team. Probably, I don't think they're gonna be back in the mix to win a title anytime soon. And LeBron's in his late 30s, his upper 30s. I can say that because I'm in my mid 40s, but I just don't know that those guys are going to be contending for any titles anytime soon. And that's a good thing. I love it. I love to see these younger teams, these young guys coming up. And so, you know, I think the Thunder, as young as they are, they're going to be around for the next few years in the mix. I would love to see them get a title, but we just don't know if that's going to happen. But, like I said, the changing of the guard, these older players just riding off into the sunset, which means not making it past the first round or even into the playoffs, and passing that baton to these younger guys. And so it's been fun to watch Jalen Brunson, Doncic, SGA, Jalen Williams, Halliburton for the Pacers, Jamal Murray and Jokic. They're still young enough. And the Nuggets are the defending champs, so of course they're in the mix, and they're going to be in the mix the next couple of years if they can keep that team together. They're a solid team. But I think this season was a little glimpse into what the next few years in the NBA are going to look like. I don't think we're going to see Steph Curry or LeBron playing for even a conference final championship, so Western Conference championship. I don't think we're going to see that. I could be way off, and I could be way wrong, but I think the writing on the wall is there. It's just hard. LeBron's been in the league 21 years. And he's dominating. And so, unless, the Lakers fired their coach, who knows who they're going to get. There's word, that one of the names out there is JJ Redick. I think he's a brilliant basketball mind. He does a podcast with LeBron James. His basketball IQ is phenomenal. Like every time I listen to his podcast, I get something new out of it and learn something that blows my mind. But he's never coached. Is that a problem? I don't know. You would think, if you're up for a promotion, it's something that you've done before, or up for a new job, that it's something you've done before. And I don't think that coaching your kids counts or is near the same as coaching in the NBA. Again, who knows? I feel that way. I wanted Doug Gottlieb to get the Oklahoma State job, and he's never been a head coach at a high level. So, I don't have a problem with it. I just think it's a huge, huge risk. And if JJ is LeBron's guy, then they're going to make that happen. Is it the right choice? Who knows? And if that even happens. But we don't even know if that's the right choice. Because JJ's never coached. Again, brilliant IQ. I love his podcast. And I just know that that's going to be the talk, is he's never coached. That's his biggest negative. It might be his only negative. He played under Coach K at Duke. So, and he played under some great, great coaches in the NBA. So he's definitely learned from some of the best. And I would like to see it. I don't want him to fail, especially, him being another podcaster like I am, tongue in cheek. I do my best, but he could be that guy in LA. And if that keeps LeBron in LA, LeBron turns 40 in the next year or two. That's wild. And he's still putting up Hall of Fame all-star numbers at his age. I act like he's 90. But 39 in the NBA is, you might as well be 80 in real life into your career. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I do think that this year was definitely a changing over from the old guys to the young guys. And even the younger guys who, didn't make the playoffs. You've got Scoot Henderson, Wemby, Rookie of the Year. He plays in San Antonio. Who knows what's going to happen there, but the future of the NBA is bright. And I think, it always will be. But especially just the guys who, are, in their first, second, third years right now. Some of those guys might be, fifth or whatever. But the future for the NBA is bright. The only thing though is a lot of the media stuff, like the media rights and where are NBA games going to be played. What's that going to look like? Are we going to have NBA games on Amazon Prime? Are we going to have NBA games on NBC again? Like, they're talking about inside the NBA on TNT. Those guys are those guys going to be broken up? And that's such a great show. That's the best NBA show on TV, especially when you have Shaq, Charles Barkley, Chuck going at it. I love that. And if those guys split, what does that do for people who watch the NBA? Because I know people watch for their team, or just some people only watch the playoffs, but I watched halftime and post game on TNT because of those guys. If I'm watching a game on ESPN, I'm not watching anything post game because it's not the best product out there. Inside the NBA and those guys on TNT, that's the best NBA product out there. And I would hate to see that get broken up. But again, if the NBA goes to Amazon Prime or something behind a paywall, I mean, I know cable, you have to pay for cable, but there's a lot of people who just aren't going to, dole out money to just get games on Prime. Or even, how many people have Amazon Prime but don't even use Prime Video? I would like to know what that number is. I'm sure it's out there, but I bet it's really high. And so all these people are going to have to look for games on separate apps, and that's what I love about cable. Or, for instance, I use YouTube TV. Like, I don't have to go to another app to find games. And I don't see any way if a game is on Prime, it's not going to also be on YouTube TV. So I just don't see what's going to happen with the NBA in those regards. I mean, I feel like their numbers have already been declining viewership-wise, and you put more games behind paywalls, it's not going to get any better. Who cares that Amazon or whoever pays however many billions of dollars to get a game on their platform, but are the eyeballs going to be there? I don't know. I don't think so. Could be wrong. Wrong a lot. It's just an opinion I have. So I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like. So I'm having some coffee. And so we'll see. I'm excited for the future of the NBA, though, with these young guys. And then to see these teams in the second round of the playoffs that we haven't seen in the second round of the playoffs in a long time. Oklahoma City, Pacers, the Knicks. I don't know the last time the Knicks were in the second round. It could have been in the last several years, but I don't know. But the NBA is in good hands with these young guys. And so, but I do have questions about where we're going to be able to watch games. Another question I have is, they're moving the NBA draft to 2 days. It's 2 rounds. The only reason I've ever watched the second round of the NBA draft is because it's on the same night and it's just on. You go through the first round, you go through the second round. There's no way that viewership is going to stay the same from the first round of the draft to the second round of the draft on the second day. Those numbers are going to drop off. They have to. So I don't understand the NBA's thought process behind that either. I think that's stupid. I think it's really dumb, because I definitely probably will not be turning in for the second round. I'll watch the first round, and that'll be it, because that's usually all I pay attention to anyways, is the first round, and I think that's most people. So I don't know what the NBA is doing or thinking or why they're making these moves. I have an idea, and I think we all do, what that idea is, and I think it's money. I think it's the money that is driving decisions by the NBA. It's not to get more viewers, because both of those things are going to lose viewers. Putting games behind different paywalls on different apps, if that happens, and moving the NBA draft from 1 night to 2 nights for 2 rounds, you're going to have less viewers, right? I could be wrong, but common sense tells me viewership's going to go down on those. I feel like the only reason they're doing it is for the money. And so money is a driving force for a lot of people's moves and whatever they decide to do, their decisions. Money is the major force. And so I think that's what's driving the NBA to make stupid decisions. And so it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see what the numbers are when they come out after the draft. And the in-season tournament, a lot of people liked it. I was indifferent to it. I didn't care either way. Like, okay, cool, in-season tournament, whatever. Did that get more people to watch back? Maybe. Or did it put more money in the pockets of the NBA? Those are the two questions regarding the in-season tournament. Because, I don't know. But common sense, again, tells me these moves made by the NBA are more for money, not for viewers. So, I don't know, but I am excited for the Thunder and for the rest of these playoffs. Minnesota scares me a lot. I don't know about you guys. They are way better than I thought they were going to be. Well, not really. The top 3 seeds in the West were all right there. It came down to the last games of the season to figure out 1, 2, and 3. So I think those 3 teams are pretty even, but Minnesota they have some talent. They have some guys that just play their coach, but can they beat Denver? Is that series going to go 7? I think so. I think Denver wins it in 7. I think Oklahoma City wins it in 7. Boston wins it in 5. And I think New York, that's a good series. New York Pacers. I'm only picking the Thunder because that's my team, so I want them to win, so that's all heart. But even head-wise, I think the Thunder are the better team over the Mavs. The Minnesota Nuggets, I think, could go either way. I think the Nuggets just have the favor because of winning the championship last year. I think that momentum carries them through Game 7. Knicks, Pacers. Knicks have home court. I think Knicks probably win that in 7 because of home court. I think those 3 teams win in 7 because of home court. Nuggets in 7, Oklahoma City in 7, and Knicks in 7. All because of home court advantage. And then I think Boston's just Boston, and I think they're going to win the East, or that series, second round, in 5 games, 4-1 against the Cavs. So that's where I'm at with some NBA talk. Thanks for listening.